is an extremely valuable commodity. There have been times when as a parent I would have given just about anything for a good night's sleep. And let's face it, tiredness affects everything else too. We get cranky and are less able to think clearly. We can start to feel bad about ourselves, and suddenly every day is a bad hair day. We walk around like zombies and may find we've put the laundry detergent away in the fridge. The fact is that erratic sleep patterns are completely normal for babies, but they're not normal for adults, and therefore we struggle. The average adult needs 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep a night to function properly. Yeah, that's right. I know, it's a joke. So it's no wonder tiredness is a real issue. We've been looking at the book of the Bible, Genesis, to see what insights it can give us into our lives and the God who made us. It tells us that God made the world and everything in it. And again it says that when God looked at the world he had made, he saw that it was good. And after he'd finished all his work of creating, it says something quite remarkable. It says he rested. Now what does that mean? It's not saying that God went off on holiday and forgot all about the world, as though he started it off and just left it to run all by itself. The God of the Bible is a God who's intimately involved, moment by moment, in his world. When we read that God rested, it means that he took the time to enjoy what he had made. It's the kind of rest and enjoyment you get when you finished a jigsaw puzzle or knitted a baby blanket. You stop and look and get great satisfaction from seeing a job completed, a job well done. Now, being a parent is obviously very different from that, but there's something incredibly valuable to learn from this. In a sense, your job as a parent is never completed. But if we're not careful, tiredness and stress will rob us of the joy we can have. Even if we can't physically rest by having a good night's sleep, we can look for ways to enjoy the routines of life and take delight in the wonderful children that God's given us. Even the most stressful of mealtimes can be lightened with a touch of humour. Even when you're tearing your hair out, the house is in chaos, and you're wearing your toddler's dinner, it's good to be reminded that one day we will look back and be able to see the funny side. I'm aware that for some of you this may seem like a bit of a stretch. If you're in the middle of a stage where they just won't sleep, it might seem impossible. So what can we do then? There are loads of books and websites out there with advice on how to get your baby to sleep through the night. And most of the methods suggested do have their merits and might work for some children. But remember, there's something to aim for. Don't beat yourself up if it doesn't work straight away, or even at all. It's good to have a plan in place, but our babies are not robots, and not every method works for every baby. It's also good to remember that every stage is exactly that, a stage. And although it may seem like an age, this phase of sleepless nights will not last forever. In the meantime, we need to rest when we can. Sleeping whenever baby sleeps is a great plan, but it isn't always possible. But putting your feet up while baby sleeps is still always better than cleaning the bathroom. Come to think of it, that's probably true at any phase of life. We need to eat well too. This will help with your energy levels, and if you're breastfeeding is great for baby too. But eat to enjoy yourself, not just to cram in the calories. I know it may seem difficult, but fresh air and a little exercise, even a walk around the block, will really help the quality of the sleep we are able to get. Perhaps get together with some other mums and walk together, even if it's just to the cake shop. If you're living with sleep deprivation, you need to cut yourself some slack. Realise that at this stage of life, tiredness is a pretty constant companion. And that means accepting some limitations on what you can achieve, and accepting some support from others. Finding rest is more than just about getting a good night's sleep. It's about finding ways to refresh ourselves, relax, laugh, take some time out to do the things you really enjoy. Remind yourself that you're a whole person, not just a tired mum. This kind of rest can be truly invigorating and helps us not feel like the rest of our lives have ground to a halt. It can make those sleepless nights just a little bit easier to cope with. All our relationships will benefit greatly from this kind of rest, not least of all those with our children. At the end of a busy day, we may not go to bed with our to-do list checked off. We'll never get to the point of saying, my job as a parent is completely done. But we can take time to enjoy and share the little victories, marvel at the milestones they reach, and give thanks for the joy our children bring to our lives.